Health Commissioner Zucker announced that Governor Cuomo was banning fracking in New York State, he held up one of my publications that looked at the emissions from fracking sites in 5 other states, including Pennsylvania. What we showed is that the concentration of toxic chemicals in the air exposing people that live near these fracking sites, some of them were 10,000 times higher than federal standards. Everybody breathed a sigh of relief. We're not going to frack gas in New York. But look at the pipelines. We have thousands of miles of natural gas pipelines. Frack gas is natural gas. And most natural gas is fracked gas. Now, what's happening here in New York? Well, first of all, along most of these pipelines, there's a compressor station about every 20 miles. In our study in 5 other states, the worst contamination came from compressor stations. So my colleagues and I have looked at emissions from compressor stations in New York. Now, there's only federal data on about a third of those compressor stations, but they're releasing millions of pounds of toxic chemicals. And we found that 39 of those chemicals that are released from compressor stations are known human carcinogens. Now, it's true that a lot of these pipelines and compressor stations are relatively rural areas, so there aren't a huge number of people exposed. But that natural gas is burned in power plants. It's burned everywhere. It's burned in a lot of people's homes. And they are then being exposed to the same 39 carcinogens and many other chemicals. Now again, in 2014, we looked at the documented emissions from natural gas in New York State. Almost 39 million pounds of these toxic chemicals in that 1 year. And we know that's a gross underestimation because there just isn't data on a lot of those emissions. Furthermore, there are almost 67 billion pounds of greenhouse gases. That's primarily carbon dioxide and methane. What is natural gas? Natural gas is methane. What causes climate change? Greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, plus a few others that are less important. So we have a global emergency. It's not just a New York emergency. We can sit back and wait a while. Manhattan's going to be underwater. A lot of Long Island's going to be underwater. The ocean rises. Nobody quite knows how much it's going to rise, but it's going to be catastrophic for areas near the coast. We think we have a refugee crisis in the world right now. Just wait until coastal areas in New York and other countries are not possible for human habitation because they're underwater. So listen, the question is, what can each of us do about this? I mean, I think you're here today because you care about it. You're here because you want to get after Governor Cuomo, after our legislature, to do something about it. So there are some things, though, that individuals can do. For example, how do you heat your home? Do you heat your home with oil or coal or natural gas? You know, if you really care about this, go to solar, go to wind power. That probably is the most effective thing that one as an individual can do. We as a group can bang on the table of the governor's office and maybe can influence policy. But there are things that individuals can do. And one of those is to use renewable energy. Whether it be for your car, for your home, let's start changing the world one at a time. Thank you for your attention.